What is your advice for the brothers and sisters in relation to seeking knowledge? We advise the brothers and sisters, first and foremost, if they're able, ikhwan, to travel for the purpose of seeking ilm and to sit, ikhwan, with the carriers of knowledge in our time, and with those who are at the head of the Ta'if al-Mansura from Ahl al-Ilm, then our advice is to take up that opportunity if you have it, if it is before you. That is, if Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed you with that ability, and in terms of duties and responsibilities, you're able, you're not bound by certain duties and what have you to remain or to stay, then our advice is that you go away and study. There is nothing, ikhwan, like taking knowledge from Ahlul Ilm, taking knowledge, ikhwan, and sitting at the feet of our mashaykh and our ulama, and taking knowledge, ikhwan, from its source. Therefore, that is our advice first and foremost, and our first recommendation is that the brothers apply for the Islamic University of Medina and that they sit and seek ilm with the mashaykh and with the ulama of Medina, the scholars, ikhwan, who are at the head of the da'wah salafiyya in our time. Our mashaykh and our ulama, Shaykhana Shaykh Rabi', Shaykhana Shaykh Ubaid, Shaykhana Shaykh Abdullah al-Bukhari, Shaykhana Shaykh Muhammad bin Hadi, and the rest of the mashaykh of Medina, Shaykhana Shaykh Ali Nasir al-Faqihi, and Shaykhana Shaykh Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad, and the other scholars of Medina, ikhwan, who are well known to the brothers here. Indeed, if one is able to go away and sit and benefit from them, then that without doubt is the advice. That one goes away, that he studies, he benefits. He'll benefit by going away in terms of his tongue, the Lugha al-Arabiya. You may learn Arabic here, ikhwan, but it is a much slower process. Generally, you need to mingle with the Arab and to live with the Arab in order to truly benefit in terms of your tongue. But no doubt, ikhwan, many of our brothers have done so, that they've learned Arabic here and have benefited in terms of the Arabic language. Secondly, if one is not able to go away either to the Mamlaka or to another one of the regions where it is possible for them to seek knowledge, Egypt, as some of the brothers are now traveling to. If that is not possible, ikhwan, then one tries his best to benefit where he is. One of the most important sciences for one to concentrate upon is the science of the Lugha al-Arabiya, the Arabic language. For indeed, by way of it, even if one is not able to study, then there is much by way of durus that are present online, with the scholars and with the people of knowledge, either previously recorded or live durus now, alhamdulillah, that continue to be broadcast of our mashaykh. And so if one is not able to attend physically, then those durus and those broadcasts are still present, and one is still able to benefit if he has the key to benefit, and that no doubt returns back to the Arabic language. If one is not able to do so, ikhwan, and then the only other option is to benefit from those who have benefited. To benefit from those who have benefited and take something from benefit, ikhwan, from the tulab ilm who have gone away and studied and taken from those mashaykh and from those ulama, and who are known, ikhwan, to remain or to stick with the statements of the scholars and to convey the statements of Ahl al-Ilm, and not those who have istiqlaliyah, not those individuals, ikhwan, who are independent in thinking and independent, but believe themselves people of knowledge, believe themselves ulama, or believe themselves ashab ilm. Rather, that one clings to those who are a gateway for you to the ulama, and a gateway for you to benefiting from the knowledge of the ulama, in that they have either taken it or that they indicate and point you towards it. Similarly, ikhwan, that the one who embarks upon the path of knowledge, there are certain books that is important for him to study. Certain books in the area of Tawheed, the likes of the Usul al-Thalatha, al-Qawaid al-Arba'a, Kashf al-Shubuhat, Kitab al-Tawheed, all of Shaykh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, and likewise the books of Aqeedah, the likes of al-Aqeedah al-Tahawiyah, the likes of Lum'at al-I'tiqad of Ibn Qudama, the likes of al-Aqeedah al-Tahawiyah, al-Aqeedah al-Hamawiyah, al-Aqeedah al-Tadmuriyah of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, and others from the books of Aqeedah that are well known and established, that will nurture, or a person will be nurtured upon studying and learning and understanding the usul of Ahl Sunnah, Sharh Sunnah, Usul Sunnah, and Sharh Sunnah of Imam al-Barbahari, Usul al-Sunnah of Imam Ahmad, and others from the books, Ikhwan, of Aqidah. Similarly in fiqh, that he studies those small mutun, those small texts in fiqh, and that he grows in a knowledge of fiqh of the religion. Small texts such as Umdatul Fiqh or the Durar al-Bahiyya of Imam al-Shawkani, that have in them the Masail al-Fiqhiyya, the issues of fiqh that he learns and that he acquaints himself with the evidences for. And that he couples with that a study of the ahadith of ahkam. And that is, that he studies the ahadith that deal with the rulings. And so he studies books such as Umdatul Ahkam of Imam Abdul Ghani al-Maqdisi. He studies the likes of Bulugh al-Maram of Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. Or he studies the likes of Al-Muharrar of Ibn Abdul Hadi, or Muntaqa al-Akhbar of Majd ibn Taymiyyah, or Al-Muntaqa of Ibn Jarud, and others from the books of Ahadith al-Ahkam. Similarly, that he studies hadith generally, starts with the Arba'in al-Nawawiyya, and then he progresses to the other books of hadith, the likes, Ikhwan, of as we mentioned, Umda, which is of course a book of hadith, or that he moves on from that to the likes of the Riyadh al-Salihin of Imam al-Nawawi, likewise, and similarly that he moves and progresses from that to the bigger books of hadith. In the science of Mustalah al-Hadith, that he studies Mathalan al-Bayquniyya, which is a small text in Mustalah al-Hadith and the science of hadith, and then he moves on from that perhaps to Nukhbat al-Fikr of Hafidh ibn Hajar, which is a beautiful book, Ikhwan, that Hafidh mentioned, that is concise but gathers the ulum al-Hadith in a small text. And then we have its explanation, which is a book of Hafidh, likewise himself, a beautiful text. We were granted the opportunity to study that with Sheikh Rabi' in the 90s, and it is a beautiful, comprehensive book. Beautiful, comprehensive book, Ikhwan Nushatul Nadar. Similarly, Al-Ba'ith al-Hadith of Imam Ibn Kathir, and there is some difference as to whether Al-Ba'ith is actually the book of the authorship of Ahmad Shakir or Imam Ibn Kathir. And what is most correct is that there are some indications of the fact that Imam Ibn Kathir himself named the book Al-Ba'ith al-Hadith, as occurs in some nusakh and in some of the versions and some of the early prints and manuscripts of the book. And then he moves from that to the likes of, prior to that rather, he may study Al-Muqidha of Imam al-Dhahabi. Then he moves from that to the likes of Tadrib al-Rawi of Imam al-Suyuti, and the likes, Ikhwan, of the bigger books of hadith like Fath al-Maghith of Imam al-Sakhawi. As it relates to the knowledge of tafsir, that he starts, Ikhwan, with a small and an easy tafsir. Perhaps he may study one of the books of the Kalimat of the Quran, one of those small books, Ikhwan, that have in them an explanation of the difficult words that may occur in the surah. And those books are small, Ikhwan, pocket-sized books that will just familiarize him with the strange words that occurs in some surah. And then he moves on to one of the easy books of tafsir, the likes of the tafsir, Ikhwan, of Al-Imam Al-Shaykh Abdul Rahman bin Nasir Al-Sa'idi rahimahullah ta'ala, and then the other books of tafsir, the Mukhtasar Mathalan of Tafsir al-Baghawi, and then the Mukhtasar of Tafsir ibn Kathir, and then he goes on to the bigger books of tafsir themselves, Tafsir ibn Kathir, Tafsir al-Qurtubi, even though he should be aware that there is some ta'wil in terms of Asma' wa Sifat in the Tafsir of Imam al-Qurtubi, Tafsir of the likes of Imam al-Shawkani, Fath al-Qadir, though again there is some ta'wil and some interpretation in terms of the Asma' wa Sifat within the book of Imam al-Shawkani. Generally, Ikhwan, if he busies himself with that, then he's got a lot to go with, a lot to work with for the next few years, inshallah, it should be good. If he's able to find someone who has studied those books and he may benefit in that regard, then he takes from them, benefits from them, and understands or draws closer to the correct understanding of that which is present within those kutub, and of course, that which is present within those sciences. Allah Ta'ala.